The Scientific Achievement Award was established a decade ago in 2002 to recognize researchers who have made exceptional scientific contributions to the field of gambling research. Before we honor this year's winner, I would like to take a moment to recognize our past award winners who are here at the conference with us. Dr. Mark Potenza, Dr. Robert Montessori, Dr. John Brown, and Dr. Ken Winters. Congratulations to all of you. This year's Scientific Achievement Award recipient is being recognized for his pioneering contributions to the field of gambling research, especially in the areas of youth gambling, the assessment of gambling disorders, and the measurement of treatment outcomes. As you know, the 2012 Scientific Achievement Award is being presented to an incredibly deserving researcher, Dr. Randy Stinchfield from the University of Minnesota Medical Center. Dr. Stinchfield has conducted some of the earliest and most significant research on youth gambling, including the first youth gambling survey in the United States. He is the co-author of the SOGS, is it SOGS RA or SOGS RA? RA. And has analyzed gambling behavior based on Minnesota student survey data, which is now the largest database of youth gambling information in existence. Dr. Stinchfield is also a leader in research investigating the accuracy of instruments intended to measure and diagnose gambling problems, including the SOGS and the DSM-IV diagnostic criteria for pathological gambling. He has calibrated the classification accuracy of both the SOGS and DSM-IV. As most of you know, the DSM-V task force has proposed lowering the threshold from 5 to 4 criteria in the next edition. And they cited Dr. Stinchfield's 3 articles on DSM-IV classification accuracy research as the rationale for this proposed change. That speaks to the impact that he's made on the field. As if these contributions aren't enough to show that he's deserving of the award, he also conducted one of the first gambling treatment outcome studies, and he and his colleagues developed what has become known as the Gambling Treatment Outcome Monitoring System, or GAMTOMS. Because of his contributions to advance the field of gambling disorders, I'm honored to present the 2012 NCRG Scientific Achievement Award to Dr. Randy Stinchfield.
Thank you, Alan. I really appreciate this award, and I appreciate the recognition of it and being able to join some of my colleagues. I was hired by Ken Winters when I finished my clinical internship psychology at the Minneapolis VA Medical Center in 1988. So I appreciate that opportunity, and Ken and I are still together after 24 years. You may not have noticed this, but both Ken and I are bald. And so we kind of look alike. So we oftentimes get confused for each other, and we're also sometimes, in fact, at this conference I've already been called Ken twice. We're also oftentimes referred to as the Minnesota Twins, which is also our Major League Baseball team. In fact, the National Council on Problem Gambling cannot tell us apart, so they gave us their research award, so we had to share it. I think it's my turn to have it in my office for a little while. So Minnesota started gambling in 1990, and so that's when Ken and I started doing some research. There were a number of research questions that needed to be addressed, and so that's why when Alan was reading the research that I conducted, it sounds like I'm a utility player for the Minnesota Twins. I played shortstop, outfield, so I had to do youth surveys, gambling treatment outcome monitoring systems, etc. But what was nice about starting off in the early days is that you could come up with a research idea and you exclaim, it's never been done before, and that was true. But now, 20-some years later, my colleague Harold Wynn and I still come up with research ideas and exclaim, it's never been done before, but it's only because we haven't reviewed the literature yet and found out that one of you had already done the study. And once I got a couple research projects completed, I started coming to these conferences. So one of the first conferences I came to was in mid-90s, and started meeting people at these conferences and found the gambling research community very welcoming and friendly. And in fact, there's a bit of an old guard here. Some are no longer with us, but there's a few here today, and I wanted to draw attention to a couple of them. It took me a couple of years to pronounce Robert Ladisseur's name correctly. I called him Robert Leducier for 2 years. And he is fun to come to conferences with, because it's like going on a camping trip. He doesn't shave, and I'm not sure that he bathes while he's And so at the end of the 4 days, you see him leaving, and it looks like he's been in the woods. He's got a 4-day growth of beard, and he's disheveled. Now that he's retired, I think he's taken some time to shave, so I appreciate that. And then there's Jeff Darabensky. This guy, every conference that I've ever been to, he's there, whether it's international, national, state, county, provincial. He is addicted to these conferences. And if you watch him, he works the room like he's running for Prime Minister. And he's not even Canadian. What's been fun about research is that you get to answer questions. You get to answer questions like, are kids gambling more often now than they used to? Does treatment work, and for whom? Is DSM-5 better than DSM-4? Why is the sea always by the seashore? These are important questions. So I appreciate all of this time. I forgot to mention one other guy, Harold Wynn. He is a guy that I've known for almost 20 years, and I still can't tell if he's giving me the straight line or if he's pulling my leg. So if he tells you that he played on the Canadian Rugby National Championship team, you might want to look that up. Or when he tells you that he played guitar for the Rolling Stones when they started out, I'm going to check it out online and see if it's true or not. So thank you, and I appreciate NCRG's support, both in terms of funding for research and also for bringing us all together every so often so we can share our findings. Thank you.